If he really scares him, then directly if you choose to fight, then things will be a big deal. At least you have to meet with him and lock his breath. At that time, no matter how Boss Scrap escapes or where he hides, he will be found, so for now, let's have a close battle first. Blood Ghost Art Lotus Leaf Ice. Blood Ghost Art, Man Lion Hua. Tong Mo waved his folding fan quickly, and lotus-like ice crystals shot towards him like lightning. At the same time, several ice vines entwined with ice lotus flowers snaked forward. The former blocked Li Yiming's range of action, and the ice vines wanted to restrain him. When he got up, two kinds of blood ghost techniques erupted at the same time. Obviously Tong Mo was already serious. After all, Li Yiming is a man, and he doesn't meet Tong Mo's prerequisite for releasing water at all. This kind of high-speed combo is difficult for ordinary pillars to resist. After all, in the case of unequal intelligence, they will not choose to distance themselves, but use the sun will knife in their hands to resist. At this time, they will unconsciously inhale ice crystals, which will greatly damage their combat power. However, Li Yiming doesn't have to worry about this problem. Even if he doesn't use the breathing method, his physical fitness alone is comparable to Tong Mo, not to mention that his breath of flame is not just a combat skill, but can truly create elemental power skills. If Tong Mo is the nemesis of the swordsman of the ghost-killing team, then he is Tong Mo's nemesis. Breath of Flame 1 Shape Shiranui. The ice vines were cut, Li Yiming's right foot slammed on the ground, and the whole person shuttled back and forth in the ice crystal lotus, wantonly dodging all attacks, and some ice crystal lotuses that could not dodge could also rely on the light armor on their body after resisting. The equipment made by him is quite amazing in defense. Aware of the weirdness on Li Yiming, Tong Mo's eyes fell on Li Yiming's body. The armor gleaming in the moonlight made him look curious again. Is it a new gadget for the ghost-killing squad? But something that can only increase the defense, but it can't pose a threat to me. Blood Ghost Art Scattering Lotus Blossoms. A large number of finely crushed ice petals appeared out of thin air, and each petal was as sharp as a blade. Driven by Tong Mo, it swept towards Li Yiming's position from all directions. Breath of Flame 3 Types Flame Vientian. The flame rose out of nowhere, crushing all the surrounding ice petals. Finally, Li Yiming also came to Tong Mo's side. The latter didn't deliberately want to distance himself, but when the Rai Lun Dao slashed towards his neck, the folding fan in his hand also danced at high speed. Blood Ghost Art, Weeping Snow in the Dry Garden. The two folding fans were waving at high speed in Tong Mo's hands. Every time they were swayed and retracted, there would be a lot of frost mixed in. Li Yiming didn't dodge, and also swung the sun will knife in his hand. The flames and ice crystals collided within a short distance, accompanied by splashing of blood. Chance. Grasping an opening, Li Yiming raised the knife and shook Tong Mo's folding fan away. Breath of Flame 2 Shapes Rising Summer. Wrapped in flames, the Rai Lun knife instantly cut Tong Mo's left hand in half, and then fell again, aiming at his neck. The latter resisted with a folding fan, and at the same time withdrew and retreated. That's amazing. You are stronger than all the swordsmen of the Demon Slayer squad I've seen. You almost cut off your neck just now. It's a pity you didn't catch it. You won't have such a chance again in the future. The smile on Tong Mo's face completely disappeared. He had already been here enough time. If the object is a woman, he may still be in the mood to tease her for a while, but if a man hurts himself like this, then give him the worst way to die. Thinking of this, Tong Mo touched his neck and focused all his attention on recovery. How is that possible? Whether it is the neck or the arm, it is still in the state of being cut, and you can see the wriggling of the broken body, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't restore it. It was as if there was a magical power restricting his regeneration. Don't waste your efforts, at least in a short period of time. Your injury can't recover, and the regeneration of ghosts cut by this knives will be inhibited. We are back on the same starting line. losing the regeneration ability of ghosts, your fate is sealed. The sun will knife in Li Yiming's hand was extremely red, emitting the same color as the sun. He, what he deo, although I don't know how you did it, but as long as I kill you, I will have enough time to regenerate. Not caring about his injuries, Tong Mo waved his remaining hand again. Blood Ghost Art Fog Ice Water Lily Bodhisattva. A huge iceman resembling a bodhisattva rises from the ground, with its hands clasped together, its eyes closed tightly, and a terrifying cold air emanating from its body, almost freezing the entire yard. Putting aside his contempt completely, Tong Mo didn't intend to continue spending it any longer. Li Yiming's strength far exceeded his expectations, and if his ability to regenerate was suppressed, then the ghost's biggest advantage would no longer exist, and it would not be good for him to continue to drag on. The sky is also about to dawn, so before the sun rises, we must get rid of this man in front of us. Boom! The ice statue of Bodhisattva with its eyes closed swung the knife in its hand, and the ground was dented by it. Not only that, a large number of ice crystals sprayed out from the ice statue's mouth, so dense that there was almost no dead angle. Li Yiming could only stand still and wave the sun will knife in his hand to block it. But even so, the two dense crystals still scratched his calf. His upper body and arms were protected by light armor, so he didn't suffer too much damage, but the impact from the impact still made him very uncomfortable, and scarlet spots covered his whole body. From the outside, Li Yiming is now not only suppressed, but has reached the brink of collapse. How miserable! The performance should be about the same. This kind of reversal that is on the verge of collapse but then explodes at the end of the day, I think it will not make Kiwatsuji feel scared, and maybe he will take some actions to eliminate the threat in advance. This is exactly what I want. If you want it, Tongmo has no use value anymore. In that case, let's end it. In the next moment, a burst of fire appeared instantly, enveloping Li Yiming in it. Breath of flame profound truth 9 shape purgatory. The ice surface in the courtyard cracked instantly, and Li Yiming turned into a ball of flames, and then went towards all the ice crystals with a stream of light, and then shattered all the ice crystals. The ice crystals along the way were all melted by the high temperature and completely turned into water vapor. The fire dragon hit the ice statue, causing only a brief stalemate, and then smashed the huge ice statue of Bodhisattva. Tong Mo, who was standing on the shoulder of the ice statue, could only watch the dazzling light approaching. Devour him completely. Bang rumble. The mountains shook for a while, and the vision in the yard completely disappeared. Li Yiming was half kneeling on the ground, with the sun will knife in his hand leaning on the ground, his body was dripping with blood, and his chest was churning non-stop, giving an image of exhaustion. Looks like I won. Not far in front of him, Tongmo's lower body was nowhere to be seen, only his head lay flat on the ground, his gaze was fixed on Li Yiming, and there was an inexplicable meaning in his eyes. Regarding death, Tong Mo has never been afraid, or even felt anything. He has no feelings, but as the leader of the Bliss sect, he has seen a lot of disguises and performances, and he can clearly feel the faint sense of disobedience on Li Yiming. For some reason, Tong Mo always feels that Li Yiming can easily kill him. To die himself, but not to do so. So, why would he do it? Well, forget it, it seems that this is the end of it. The last thought remaining in his mind, Tongmo's head was completely reduced to ashes, and with his death, the ice crystals in the yard also completely melted, and the surrounding area was a mess. As for the last figure of Li Yiming, it was clearly remembered by Tong Mo and brought into hell. Did you die? It's really tiring to perform. The moment Tong Mo completely dissipated, Li Yiming's exhausted state just now completely disappeared. He stood up slowly, wiped off the blood on his face, and took the will knife back to the minister. Looking at the surrounding situation, I couldn't help but become emotional. It took a lot of effort to deceive Boss Xiao. Although there are some flaws, you can only read the memories of Ghost Dance Tsuji. You shouldn't see too many violations. The plan should still be successful. Next, you can take it easy for a while. Taking out the potion prepared in advance from his bosom, Li Yiming raised his head and poured it into his mouth. In a moment, the seemingly serious injury on his body was actually only a superficial injury, and it recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye, and finally there was no scar left. Without the potion, Li Yiming wouldn't have dared to perform so unscrupulously. The next step is to wait for an Amui Tsuji to take the bait, but before that, for the final evaluation, there are still some things that need to be done. Let's go to the ghost killing team's resident first. Ignoring the screams inside the Wanji Bliss cult, Li Yiming left the place without a sound. The battle just now has been leaked, so let others finish the finishing work. At the same time, in a certain villa in Dong, Li Zhao, Jing Asakusa, Oni Wutsuji, who was flipping through various books in the study, froze, as if he had sensed something, and immediately fell into deep thought. Boom! He closed the book in his hand fiercely, and his face became very ugly. Winding up the second Tong Emo was actually killed. There has been no death of the Shangxian ghost for hundreds of years. When the ghost killing team has a pillar that can kill the Shangxian, those ants that are an eyesore can always jump around. It's fine if you hinder yourself from looking for the blue other shore flower, and now this kind of powerhouse has appeared again. Forcibly enduring the anger in his patience, Giwutsuji began to read the memory fragments before Tong Mo's death with gloomy eyes, and the figure of Li Yiming gradually emerged. No red haori, all black hair, no earrings, not that guy. After carefully observing the image of Li Yiming, it is not the frightening image in the depths of memory, which undoubtedly made Giwutsuji heave a sigh of relief, and gradually recovered from his original suspicion. As long as it is not Jiku Yuanyi, then he is the strongest ghost king and he is not afraid of anyone. With a panoramic view of all the battle scenes, ghost dance industry has no misfortune, it also becomes more at ease. It's so disappointing to me. Tong Emo can't even deal with such a small role, but it's also reasonable. The breath of flame and the Hideo will make Tong Emo immune to the blood ghost technique. It seems that the markings should still be turned on, just don't know where it is hidden. Tong Mo's loss is not wronged. But that's all. Although there is some strength, there is nothing to worry about. Except for that guy, the person who turns on the stripes will definitely not live to be 25 years old, so don't pay attention to him at all. However, to be on the safe side, it's better to dispose of him, lest the stripes cause a chain reaction of other swordsmen. Maybe like Uozuo, he can be turned into a ghost and increase his strength. It's obviously a group of ants, but their resilience is quite tenacious. Since you killed Tong Emo, then use your life to pay for it. P.S. Thank you for the monthly pass of Olan Aoxiang Yahuan. It's so black, XYYXY. Chapter 72 Encounter Butterfly Genie, Surprise from Style, Monthly Ticket Plus. Naru, call all the strings to Infinity City. Yes, my lord Wumi. Naruto's voice rang in the ears of Oni Wutsuji, and then under the effect of the blood ghost technique, Oni Wutsuji and all the upper strings were forcibly summoned to the Infinite City. The sudden change of the picture made the five Shangxian slightly startled, but after noticing the familiar place, their tense expressions were completely relieved, and their expressions became very respectful. The Shangxian ghosts looked at each other at the same time, and there was an indescribable deep meaning in their eyes. They haven't gathered together for a long time. Since the last ranking battle, they have received orders from Oni Wutsuji Mumi unilaterally, but they will not meet other Shangxian ghosts. This is because Mumi Anime Tsuji seldom brings all the Kamaizu together. This guy is very cautious, or it can be said that he is afraid of death. Even though he has control over all the ghosts, he is still afraid that the ghosts will gather to rebel against him, so under normal circumstances, they will not allow too much competition among the ghosts. At the same time, it will not give too many such opportunities. Now that all the Shangxian ghosts are gathered together, it is obvious that something very important has happened. That guy Tong Mo hasn't come for a long time. Could it be that the reason for this gathering has something to do with that guy? Clang clang. The sound of the zither sounded again, and Ghost Wu Tsuji appeared directly above. Except for Hei Si Mao, who was still sitting cross-legged on the spot, the other Shangxian ghosts, even the Prstu Taro who was inside Luoji's body, all appeared directly, half kneeling on the ground, with their heads lowered, not daring to offend in the slightest. In fact, the degree of respect these Shangxian ghosts have for Oni Wu Tsuji is far beyond imagination. Tong Mo is dead. Without too much foreshadowing of the atmosphere, Wei Wuvu said the news directly. What? The moment he heard these words, almost all the Shangxian ghosts present had their pupils shrunk slightly, their hearts were filled with turbulent waves, their heads suddenly lifted, and their faces showed disbelief. Shangxian ghost was actually killed. How could such a thing happen? You must know that Tong Mo is one of the top 3 existences among the 12 ghost months. Countless human beings have been killed over hundreds of years, and there are many Yuzu existences among them. A breathing creature, how could he be killed by other people? This is too unbelievable. However, there was a person in the crowd who showed a different look. The corner of Yu Wozuo's mouth was filled with a hidden arc. Although he was also surprised by Tong Mo's death, the death of this guy who made him very disliked was undoubtedly great news. He had wanted to do this a long time ago, if it wasn't for his lack of strength, coupled with Gui Wu Tsuji's disapproval, that's why he was forced to run aground. Now someone is doing it for him. What a good man. My lord Wu Mi, how did Tong Mo die 797? Could it be that the Wanshi Bliss sect was discovered by the ghost-killing team and was surrounded by several pillars? Hei Si Mao asked calmly, and the 6 eyes looked at one place very flabbergasted. There was only one person who killed him. I'm not sure if it was a swordsman from the ghost-killing team. He used the breath of flames. His physical strength was different from ordinary people. He was able to arouse the knives, and he might have opened the stripes. Tong Mo was carelessly killed by he. During the slashing, the regenerative ability was inhibited, and he was beheaded under the great loss of strength. The other Shangxian ghosts are a little unclear, but Hei Si Mao has captured the key content. The physical strength is different from ordinary people, coupled with Hideo and Zebra, it is indeed possible to kill Tong Mo. After all, he has personally experienced the power of Zebra. What's more, Hei Si Mao generally understands Tong Mo's situation. There is nothing wrong with a guy who likes to tease others in battle, just die like this. Hei is dead, I hope you can find that guy and kill him. Ignoring the subordinates below who were chattering, Gui Tsuji's eyes fell on Haishimu's body, and he expressed his appeal in a cold tone. Although he thinks that Li Yiming's strength is not enough to threaten him, he still can't keep him. As soon as one of Ji Kuyuan appears, any human being that may become a threat cannot be allowed to grow up, and must be killed in the cradle when it is weak. My lord, with all due respect, the person who has turned on the stripes will definitely not live to be 25 years old. There is absolutely no need to pay attention to a dying person. That's right, Mr. Wu Mi, why don't you hand over that guy to me? I will twist his head off with my own hands, and bring his body back. Yu Wozuo also hurriedly echoed, his eyes gleaming with unspeakable excitement. He can't wait to fight against the strong man who can kill Tong Mo. However, the imaginary promise did not appear, and what Yu Wozuo ushered in was Wia, the ghost dancer Tsuji Wumi, who directly crushed his whole body to the ground. His veins bulged, but he didn't dare to make any struggling movements. I'm sorry, Mr. Wu Mi, my subordinates dare not. Yu Wozuo hurriedly begged for mercy. Boom. As soon as the voice fell, Yu Wozuo's whole body exploded instantly, a large amount of minced meat and blood splashed everywhere, and the rest of the ghosts were more or less stained, but they didn't dare to wipe even a little with their hands. There was deep fear in the eyes of every Shangxian, and they knew that Gewuchsujiwu was really angry. This is the last time, I don't want to hear anyone disobeying my orders again, do you hear me clearly? Jeff. Yes, my lord Wumi. A group of Shangxian hurriedly agreed, not daring to disobey in the slightest. Find that human being as soon as possible, and then deal with them. Let's all go back. After saying this, Oni Wutsuji turned around and disappeared in place until his figure completely disappeared. The feeling of oppression is completely gone. All the winding ghosts at the scene couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief, their faces filled with the afterlife. It was at this time that the exploded Uozuo dared to recover, and his forehead was already covered with cold sweat. Li Yiming didn't know what happened in Infinite City. He, who has long since left the Bliss sect, kept looking for the location of the ghost-killing squad based on the information he had traveled through the simulation. The specific direction is not clear, and this behavior is undoubtedly looking for a needle in a haystack. However, it is not for nothing. As long as you find the location of the Wisteria Flowers family, it is not difficult to contact the ghost-killing team. This Wisteria Flower family crest is too hard to find. I haven't found it in the nearby towns. It has been many days. I haven't even met a swordsman from the ghost-killing team. This is too bad luck. Sitting on a rock, Li Ming's face revealed a momo of helplessness. It always feels a little sloppy. Adventurers can't just take risks, it's better to have some brains, at least now they don't have to face such an embarrassing situation, and they can't even find the way, which is too miserable. So what should we do now? Scratching his head in distress, Li Yiming felt a little numb all over. He always felt that the ideal was full and the plan was very reasonable, but in practice, he was so skinny. Crowds come and go, it is a lively scene. Only Li Yiming was sitting on the side of the road alone. In this strange world, he always had an aura of incompatibility. Suddenly, a familiar figure came into view. Li Yiming's confused eyes lit up instantly at this moment. The familiar pink haori, with beautiful patterns like butterflies printed on it, and the sun-wheel knife on his waist, what a coincidence. It seems that there is no need to search like a headless chicken. Li Yiming stood up immediately, and quickly chased after the figure. Hello, do you know what happened to the Bliss sect a few days ago? Butterfly Chana Hui is inquiring about the situation of the Bliss sect in the town. She was looking for the whereabouts of the man-eating ghosts nearby, but she received the news from the crow. There was a fight with someone, so he rushed over immediately. The field situation of Wanshi Bliss cult has been investigated. The battle in the yard was very fierce, but there were no corpses. It is not clear what the final result will be. Not only that, all the believers of that sect fled, and there was no way to get other news. In desperation, Butterfly Connie could only come to a nearby town to inquire about news, hoping to get some useful information from it. However, I have asked many passers-by, but there is no useful information. Butterfly Connie couldn't help being a little discouraged, but there was still a gentle smile on her face. Thank you for your message, sorry to hit you. Nodding towards the passers-by, Butterfly Chana Hui leaned back slightly. Even if she turned around and left, even if she got nothing now, she still couldn't give up the information she needed to inquire about. Even if the process is like finding a needle in a haystack. Hi, first time meeting, excuse me a little. The sudden sound in the ears stopped Butterfly Chana Hui, and the girl turned her head subconsciously, and Li Yiming's delicate face was instantly imprinted in her eyes. Such a handsome young man made her slightly taken aback. For some reason, Butterfly Connie always felt as if she had seen him somewhere. Hello, what's the matter? Excuse me, you should be the ghost swordsman of the ghost killing team. Although it was very unexpected to meet Butterfly Chana Hui, Li Yiming did not lose his composure too much, but chose to go straight to the point. I want to fight with ghosts. Kill the team and cooperate to deal with the ancestor of the ghost, that is, the ghost danced Tsuji Wumi. I hope you can help me introduce it. This sudden request made Butterfly Chanel froze in place. But when she saw the light armor on Li Yiming's body and the sun will knife hidden under the cloak, she realized something instantly, and a touch of surprise appeared in her beautiful eyes. Excuse me, I would like to ask, sir, have you ever been to the Bliss sect before? If you want to ask about the battle that took place at the Bliss cult of the world, I did it. I met Tong Mo, the second child of the upper string, and successfully killed him after a night of fighting. Without any intention of hiding anything, Li Yiming told the whole story. This will undoubtedly become a bargaining chip for the ghost-killing team to believe in him. After all, as long as you do a little research, you will be able to know the leader of the Bliss sect, and then you will be able to verify whether his words are true. Shangxian number 2. Liar. Sir, do you mean that you killed the Shangxian number 2 of 12 ghost moons? Butterfly Chana Hui was stunned when she heard Li Yiming's words. Her face was full of words. I can't believe it, after all, it's just too unbelievable. 12 ghost moons are very powerful, but so far, their ghost-killing team has only killed Xiaxian Ghost. The swordsmen who encountered Shangxian Ghost were almost all killed by that group of monsters without exception, and there was even a pillar among them. The strength of Shangxian Ghost was truly engraved in the hearts of all members of the ghost-killing team. Now a person suddenly appeared and told her that he had killed Shangxian Gui. How could Butterfly Jenny believe this? But when I think back to everything I saw in the Bliss cult before, the intense scene, ordinary evil spirits don't have that kind of strength at all, and the malice left in the yard is very flimsy, just standing there makes people shudder. The combination of 2 and 2 made Butterfly Connie have to believe the words just now. Or, Butterfly Connie would prefer this to be true. If Li Yiming really killed the second, then no matter from which aspect, it would be a great thing, at least let everyone see the hope of killing Ghost Mitsuji. Suppressing the strangeness in her heart, Butterfly Connie glanced around, and then smiled again. Sir, this is not a place to talk, please come with me, let's find a place where no one is around and talk in detail about the previous evil ghost. No problem, then I will trouble you to lead the way. Naturally, Li Yiming would not refuse, and finally found someone who could lead the way. Of course he couldn't just let it go, after all, he needed the help of the other party to find the ghost-killing squad's base. So, the two walked side by side towards the central area of the town. Neither of them spoke during the journey. After wandering around, I finally came to the door of a house with an unattractive appearance. There was a big family crest printed on the door, with wisteria flowers surrounding the word vine. Other than that, there was no special sign, but it is indeed located in this place. Looking at the simple gate in front of him, Li Yiming couldn't help laughing. He was about to be made to cry by himself. He was obviously in the same town, but he couldn't find it after searching for so long. Could it be that he also has the attribute of hiding road idiots? Here, Mr. Li Yiming, this is the property of the Wisteria Huajiaman family, an organization that provides various services and information to the members of the ghost-killing squad who are on missions outside. Let's go in together. On the way here, the two simply exchanged basic information. After hearing Butterfly Connie's words, Li Yiming nodded readily, and the girl as gentle as a butterfly stepped forward and knocked on the door gently. Coming. A voice that sounded extremely old came from the house, and after a while, the wooden door opened from the middle, revealing an old woman with white hair. The years had left obvious marks on her face. The old man has always had a gentle face and squinted his eyes, giving people a very kind feeling. Master Huazu, welcome to come. The other party recognized Butterfly Connie's identity at a glance, and hurriedly bowed to salute. Grandma, don't be like this. I'm just an ordinary ghost hunter. Everyone is here to exterminate evil spirits. It's just that the division of labor is different, but there is no distinction between high and low. Butterfly Connie hurried forward to help the old woman up. Since it is Master Huaju's request, please come with me. Then, Mr. Li Yiming, let's go in together. One greeted the other, and the three of them quickly entered the room. This room was bigger than imagined, and they had to go through the yard to reach the real residence. There were not many people in the whole yard, which made Li Yiming feel emotional. The ghost killing team is not just ghost hunters, the work of these behind-the-scenes personnel is equally important. If it weren't for them, the front-line swordsmen would not be able to devote themselves to the ghost hunting business wholeheartedly. Then, Master Huazu, I will wrong you to live here. The old lady opened a sliding door and said apologetically, I'm going to prepare food for you right now, there is a change of clothes in the house, the two adults can have a good rest. It's too much trouble for you, mother-in-law. No, that's what we do. The old lady smiled all over her face. She didn't feel that there was anything wrong with these jobs. On the contrary, she enjoyed it. As long as she could provide some convenience for these ghost hunters, they would be overjoyed. With the old lady gone, only Li Yiming and Butterfly Chanahui were left in the room. Mr. Li Yiming, come in and rest first. After dinner, please continue to tell me about the ghost of the Wanshi Bliss sect, is that okay? Looking at Butterfly Chinese gentle smile, Li Yiming shook his head lightly. Miss Butterfly, you don't need to be so troublesome. If you want to verify whether I am lying, there is an easier way. Why don't we have a sparring session? Chapter 73 Meet Yoyoshiki, the news of the blue higan flower. Butterfly Chanahui was stunned by Li Yiming's proposal. This slightly rough way of acting really made it difficult for a kind and gentle girl like her to accept, but after thinking about it, this seemed to be the simplest and most direct way of verification. It can not only verify the opponent's strength, if it is true, but also know the strength of Shangxian ghost from the side, kill two birds with one stone, there seems to be no reason to refuse. Thinking of this, Butterfly Connie's expression also became serious. Then I will trouble Mr. Li Yiming to teach me. Miss Butterfly is too polite. I don't have any advice. It's just to express my sincerity. After all, the purpose of the ghost killing team and I are the same. To kill the ancestor of ghosts, Animatsuji, so I want to show my strength. It also makes each other more trustworthy. While speaking, Li Yiming took the lead and walked out of the room. Now that she has made a decision, Butterfly Chanahui will not continue to hesitate. She follows to the yard, and stands opposite Li Yiming, and the two just look at each other face to face. Miss Butterfly, you go first. Li Yiming didn't draw his sword, but planned to give Butterfly Chanahui a chance. After hearing the sentence, Butterfly Chanahui's gaze became much gentler. This change made Li Yiming a little confused, but he didn't explain much. It's impossible for him to say, if he shoots first, you have no chance. In that case, I will not be polite. Butterfly Connie slowly pulled out the Japanese saber from her waist. It was a long pink saber with a very beautiful appearance, and it also gave a girl a touch. However, if you are only fooled by the surface of the sun-will knife, you will only die silently in the end. Be careful, the breathy talent type safflower. Following Butterfly Chinese swing of the knife, two arc-shaped slashes struck with irregular trajectories. I don't know if it was Li Yiming's illusion. He seemed to see falling petals on the blade. The name of the style is worthy of the name. It's a pity that the strength is still too weak. Although she has become a pillar, her strength is not too strong. At least in Li Yiming's eyes, Butterfly Connie is full of flaws. This is indeed within his expectations. The current ghost killing team is still too young. It would not be an exaggeration to say that they are out of date. Mingzhu, Shuazhu, and Yanzhu have retired one after another. For the time being, only Yanzhu, and Fengzhu are not bad. In the future, Yanzu, Shuazu, Lianzu, and Xiaozu are just ordinary people or members of the ghost-killing team. There is no future strength at all. It is indeed a very troublesome thing to lead such a group of people to fight against Ghost Dance Tsuji. Very gorgeous combat skills, but both strength and speed are obviously insufficient. It is full of flaws in front of the real strong. Miss Butterfly, you need to be faster. Dodging the two slashes sideways, Li Yiming gave some pointers lightly. Under Butterfly Chanawi's astonishing eyes, the sun will knife in her hand almost cut off Li Yiming's cheek and chest, but did not cause the latter the slightest damage. Breath of flower Wuji type fruitless peony. No thought of giving up. After closing the distance, the Japanese knife in Butterfly Connie's hand quickly slashed out, and the attack like a peony blooming came from different directions, with a large number of petals rushing towards the face, interfering with the judgment of sight. Breath of the Sun 3 types red mirror of the sun. The high-speed slash blocked all the attacks of Butterfly Connie, the huge force shook the girl's tiger's mouth numb, and she almost couldn't even hold the sun blade in her hand. Ended. As soon as the words came out, Butterfly Connie frowned slightly, and was about to change her move, but before she could make a move, she froze in place for an instant, her eyes subconsciously glanced downward. A sun-will knife exuding a cold glow was already placed on her neck, and the slight tingling sensation made her dare not act rashly, even if it was just a little closer. The blade in Li Yiming's hand could easily cut through his throat, leaving her dead instantly. The most important point is that Butterfly Connie didn't notice the opponent's movements at all. No matter what, she is still a pillar. As one of the strongest members of the ghost-killing squad, Chana Hui Butterfly has never been so powerless even in the face of those evil spirits that devour people. I'm afraid the strongest Mr. Sorrowful Yu Xin-ming is not as powerful as Mr. Li Yiming. So far, Butterfly Connie probably believed Li Yiming's statement that the other party may not have lied, and the person who appeared in the Wanchi Bliss sect may really be the second of the first string, and he was killed by him. Miss Butterfly, I accept it. Li Yiming slowly retracted the knife, the seriousness on his face dissipated, and a gentle smile appeared again. The sparring just now was nothing more than flashes of lightning, and it didn't take any effort at all. The current Butterfly Chinese strength is really too weak. I'm afraid it would be a bit embarrassing to deal with the PRSTU Taro in the land of the string at this level. Of course there is still no problem in entanglement with Luoji. Mr. Li Yiming, I believe your words now. If it were you, it is really possible to defeat the second of the winding. You are really the most powerful human being I have ever seen. For Butterfly Chana Hui's praise, Li Yiming just smiled, shook his head and did not respond. Perhaps in the eyes of the other party, he is very strong, but only he himself knows that the current strength is far from enough, and it is still too weak. However, if it is just to deal with Ghost Mitsuji, it should be enough. Miss Butterfly, now you should believe what I said. I want to meet with the leader of the ghost-killing squad and discuss cooperation to deal with Ghost Mitsuji. I have a way to kill him and end the Millennium Curse. I hope it can be conveyed on your behalf. Actually, when I met you, I already sent the news back. Butterfly Chana Hui smiled sweetly, with complex emotions in her eyes. Although I can't bring you in front of the Lord, there is no problem in delivering the message. As for whether the Lord is willing to see you, then I don't know. It's okay, I'm sure he will agree. As a charismatic head of the household, Yoya Yabayashiki is more magnanimous than imagined. Just from his willingness to stay as a bait to lure Onai Wutsuji to take the bait, it can be seen that as long as he can kill Onai Wutsuji and lift the family's Millennium Curse, he is willing to pay any price. I hope so. Butterfly Connie also hopes that Yuya Yabayashiki agrees to Li Yiming's request to meet Li Yiming. Such a strong combat power will undoubtedly be a great help when dealing with Onai Wutsuji. For some reason, from Li Yiming, she really saw the hope of solving the evil spirits. Even in the depths of her heart, Butterfly Connie is more eager to allow humans and evil spirits to coexist peacefully, but this is obviously just a luxury. Mother-in-law has finished the meal, and then just wait quietly. Li Yiming nodded, and followed Butterfly Chanahui back into the room. The two continued to talk, and the relationship was quite harmonious. Time passed quietly, and it was midnight in the blink of an eye. At the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad, Yoya Yabayashiki received a letter from Butterfly Connie. At this time, the curse had not penetrated into his bone marrow, the scars on his face were not obvious, and he still retained basic vision. After reading the contents of the letter, this normally gentle man stood up excitedly. Does the boy who uses the special breathing method have the powerful strength to kill the second of the string? The balance between humans and ghosts for thousands of years has finally been broken. Yabayashiki Yoya showed a warm smile, with obvious joy on his face. As the heirs of the Yabayashiki clan, their clan has a little ability to foresee the future. Some time ago, he dreamed of some scenes. A young man in silver light armor killed Anime Tsujimua, and all members of the ghost-killing squad knelt down. Thank you, and then there is the scene of singing and dancing, and holding a big banquet. Didn't expect it to come so soon? Butterfly said, does that young man have a way to kill Mumi and Amui Tsuji? And he wants to cooperate with the ghost-killing team. As long as he can kill Mumi and Amui Tsuji, even if it costs me my life, no hesitation. The obstetrician Shiki Amane on the side didn't interrupt, but silently stayed by her husband's side, sharing this hard-won joy. Tianyan, help me reply to Butterfly, and ask her to treat Mr. Li Yiming well. In my name, I solemnly invite him to come and tell all the children to come back. Perhaps our decisive battle with Anime Tsuji is about to begin. Cut off the chains of hatred, and there will be no more man-eating ghosts. I really look forward to that day. It will definitely be in our generation. Yabayashiki Amane held her husband's hand, and the two looked at each other with a smile, silently conveying unspeakable strength, and the bright moonlight shone on them. At this moment, this scene is so warm. Wisteria flower family pattern place. In the past few days, Li Yiming was teaching Butterfly Chanahui about fighting skills. The girl learned it very seriously. After the sparring, she realized her weakness, and immediately began to practice again. After pleading with Li Yiming for his teaching, the devil training began. Li Yiming has nothing to teach about the technique of the breath of flowers. After all, he doesn't understand it at all, so he can only rely on Butterfly Chanahui to explore it by himself. The only thing he can teach is about Hideo and through the world. Skills, no matter which one is, can greatly improve the combat effectiveness. Perhaps the Hideo doesn't have much effect on other creatures, but to ghosts, it is completely a nemesis. As long as they can suppress the regeneration of ghosts, then they can't trade injuries for injuries so unscrupulously. At this moment, a crow fell from the sky. Butterfly Connie opened the envelope, and after reading the contents inside, a look of joy suddenly appeared on her face. Mr. Yiming, my lord agreed to your request and solemnly invited you to meet at the headquarters. It's really great, the girl clenched her fists and said happily. The emotion she showed was obviously more agitated than that of Li Yiming. Yes, then don't keep Mr. Yabayashiki waiting, let's go now. The current butterfly genie naturally wouldn't refuse. Dang even stopped the practice of cultivation, retracted the sun-will knife into the scabbard, turned to the room and began to organize belongings. Ask for flowers. After a while, the two of them were already standing outside the wisteria flower pattern. The old woman who received them when they came was also standing at the door to see them off, still holding a flint and steel in her hand. Thank you for your hospitality, then we will take our leave, mother-in-law. Master Huazu, you are too serious. Before you leave, please accept the flint and spark. Thank you. Butterfly Chanahui and Li Yiming did not refuse. The blessings of the elderly are often very thoughtful, and they contain their worries and concerns. Of course, they cannot be refused at will. Da-da. The flints collided together, and sparks flew all over the place. Bless you all with prosperous martial arts, no matter when. Please be proud of yourself and work hard to live. Don't worry, old man, we'll end this. A confident smile appeared on Li Yiming's face. Under the sunlight, the smile looked very dazzling, and the butterfly genie beside her was a little stunned. Later, she was also infected by this confidence, showing the same smile. Ah, we're going to make it, in our generation. After a long journey, they finally arrived at the headquarters of the ghost-killing squad. Finally found this place, which made Li Yiming heave a sigh of relief. Although there were several twists and turns on the way, at least he successfully arrived at the destination, which also meant that he had a new helper. After all, he alone cannot solve all the evil spirits. If the time comes when Ghost Dance Tsuji Wuya plays tricks and summons all the evil spirits to carry out crowd tactics, Li Yiming is really worried that his physical strength will not be able to sustain it, so he cooperates with the ghost-killing team. It is very necessary to do. Here we are, Mr. Yiming, please follow me. Butterfly Connie took the initiative to lead the way, and the swordsmen of the Ghost Slayer squad who met along the way seemed to have received the order. Everyone bowed slightly towards Li Yiming and Butterfly Connie, with an attitude very respectful. After passing through a large courtyard, the two came to a mansion. Looking from a distance, a young man is sitting on the edge, accompanied by a young woman with white hair. Li Yiming recognized their identities at a glance. The current protagonist of the Demon Slayer squad, Yoya Sanyashiki, and his wife, Amayashiki, Amina. However, when seeing the two of them, Li Yiming's expression was still slightly weird, mainly because a certain time-traveling simulation experience was too outrageous. Now that he sees the parties involved, he is a little cranky. This is not fun to think about. My lord, I brought Mr. Yiming back. Thank you, Butterfly. Yuya Miyashiki turned around slowly, and said softly with gentle eyes, You are welcome, Mr. Li Yiming. I am weak and cannot go to greet you in person, please. Don't be offended. Mr. Yabayashiki is serious. We are all here to eliminate anime Tsuji, so we don't need to care about those red tapes, and since you have limited mobility, let me come to the door. Visiting is naturally a matter of reason. Li Yiming sat not far away familiarly, with a heartfelt smile on his face. Looking at the man in front of him who was about the same age as him, to be honest, Li Yiming admired him very much. Tortured by the curse, but still smiling at life, not only manages the entire ghost-killing team in an orderly manner, but also remembers the names of all subordinates. For this alone, Yuya Yabayashiki is a qualified leader. Mr. Li Yiming is quick to speak, so I won't continue to circle around anymore. I don't know the letter you sent Butterfly, sir, saying that there is a way to kill Giwatsuji. What is it? Not real. When it came to business, the expressions of everyone around became expectant. Thanks. After receiving the tea from Miyashiki Tianyan, Li Yiming thanked softly and smiled slightly. Of course it's true, I also want to kill Kamaitsuji, so I won't do this again. Just kidding about things. 11. Oh? I would like to hear more about it. Yuya Yabayashiki forcibly suppressed the excitement in his heart, pricked up his ears and quietly waited for Li Yiming's next words. Mr. Yabayashiki should be very clear about the origin of anime Tsujimua, right? Of course, he is the only disgrace of our Abanyashiki clan. It is because of his existence that our clan is so cursed that we cannot live past 30 years. The marriage of the clan continued. Speaking of this matter, even the mild-mannered Yoshiki Yoya could not keep calm. Obstetrician Shiki Amina, who realized that he was not in the right state, stretched out his hand to hold her husband's hand. His face was full of worry, which brought Miyashiki Yoya back to his senses. Sorry, I lost my composure just now. It doesn't matter, otherwise I would have no bitter hatred for Anematsuji. Li Yiming shook his head lightly, expressing his understanding of Yabayashiki's reaction. Kamaitsuji can't walk in the sun, he has always wanted to overcome this weakness, so the whole world. The world is looking for a plant called Cyan Bianhua, which can make him not afraid of the sun after taking it. I probably know where the blue bana flower grows, we can use this to lure him out. 4. Chapter 74, Early Zohi Training, the weak ghost killing team, thanks to Leopk for the monthly pass. We can use the cyan flower of the other side to draw the ghost Wutsuji out of the darkness. It is so secretive that Yabayashiki has to feel Li Yiming's intelligence ability. You must know that the reason why he knows the situation of Kai Wutsuji is also known from the books handed down from generation to generation by the Yabayashiki family. Related content about Ghost Mitsuji Muken's transformation from human to ghost. There are indeed some records about the blue bana flower, but it is not comprehensive. I only know that there is this thing, but where it grows and how long the growth cycle is, I have no way of knowing. Unexpectedly, Li Yiming actually knew where the blue Bianhua grows, it is really incredible. So that's the case, then we need to act as soon as possible. If Kawutsuji is the first to find the blue higan flower and swallow it, and overcome the last weakness, I'm afraid no one will be able to kill him. Don't worry, he can't find it. The blue Bianhua flower will only bloom during the day, and only 2 or 3 days a year, and it will wither at night, and it can only fully bloom when it shines on the sun. It's impossible to find in a lifetime. Li Yiming couldn't help but shook his head with a smile, expressing his pity for Kawutsuji. This ghost king probably never dreamed that he cut off his own way of life and killed the doctor who treated him with his own hands. Even if he knew the existence of the blue bana flower, he would never get it in his life. Not only the growth environment is very harsh, but also the storage conditions are extremely harsh. If you are not careful, it will completely wither and lose its effect completely. God destined that he could only walk in the dark all his life. Is that so? Mr. Li Yiming is thoughtful, but I am a little unfounded. Yabayashiki laughed at himself, and at the same time, there was a burst of joy in his heart. I really want to see what kind of expression Ghost Mitsuji will show when he hears the news. 653. I'll let the children below go get the blue bana flower back. Don't worry, I just know where it grew. No one knows whether it has grown or not now, and I'm not so anxious. I have been confronting Kawutsuji for so long, and it's not less than 10.5 days. It's been a month, let's discuss how to defeat them first. Raising his hand to stop Yabayashiki, Li Yiming poured cold water on him mercilessly. After all, the blue higan flower is just a way to lure him, and we still have to fight in the end. If we can't kill Ghost Danmachi, then the Demon Slayer team will be destroyed, and he will no longer have any weaknesses. Speaking of this, Li Yiming's eyes became deep, and his tone was equally meaningful. Mr. Yabayashiki, if this is the case, are you still willing to let the entire ghost-killing team cooperate with me? If you accidentally fail in the end, then human beings may really fall into the rule of Anematsuji. Butterfly Kani and Yabayashiki Amane, who acted silently as observers, also became tense involuntarily, as if thinking of that scene. The expressions of the two women became extremely unnatural. This almost gambling-like choice is really too difficult to choose. Li Yiming's eyes stayed on Yabayashiki, he wanted to see how this man would choose. However, the latter's expression has not changed at all from the beginning to the end, even hearing that the so-called ghost-killing team has been destroyed, and that Oni Wutsuji Wumi became the real Ghost King did not shake his determination. Mr. Li Yiming, you don't have to scare me. Although I don't want to see that happen, and I am afraid of failure, but that is not a reason to stop moving forward. I believe that even if we fail today, the ghost-killing team will not cut off in my hands. there will always be someone who will carry the banner and complete the things we have not completed. Now that there is such a good opportunity in front of us, if we still choose to look forward and backward, then I, Yuya Yabayashiki, am ashamed of the ancestors of the Yoyabayashiki clan, and I am also ashamed of what I have done to the heroic spirits of the Demon Slayer squad. So, Mr. Li Yiming, let's kill that guy together and end the 1,000 years of hatred. Plain words give people a feeling of impassioned. Looking at the man in front of him, Li Yiming remained silent, with deep appreciation in his eyes. He probably understands now why it is not unreasonable why Yoyayashiki, the obstetrician in front of him, can make all the members of the Demon Slayer squad respect him so much when he is only in his twilight years. Similarly, another thought appeared in Li Yiming's mind. It's a pity that such an outstanding talent is wasted like this. If the curse on him can be lifted and the physical damage can be cured, maybe he can be brought back to Olele. At least in terms of family management, this is indeed a rare talent. However, these are things that need to be considered in the future. The most urgent task right now is to kill Anime Tsujimua, and strive to obtain the final S-level evaluation in the real-life simulation. If there is no way to do this, then no matter how much you think about it now, no good. Sounds are really inspirational, but you can't kill an Amui Tsujimua just by talking. I fought against Kamizuji and killed him by luck. To be honest, his strength is terrible. At least he is serious. Miss Butterfly can't be his match. If the current ghost killing team is used to deal with Mumetsuji and his man-eating ghosts, I don't see a chance of winning, so before that, we must first carry out targeted training. Li Yiming's words were extremely sharp, but the others had nothing to refute. On the contrary, Yoya Yabayashiki nodded lightly, since Mr. Li Yiming said so, there must be a way to strengthen the strength of the demon-killing team, right? Otherwise, you would not be able to come here with full confidence to propose cooperation. If it was you, special training for the children of the ghost-killing squad will definitely help them a lot. Special training or something, I can't help too much, I can only teach them a few skills, penetrating the world, stripes and hideo, all are sharp weapons to enhance strength and deal with ghosts, it depends on how long they need able to grasp. Li Yiming didn't reject the proposal of Yuya Yabayashiki, but Li Yiming didn't intend to be someone else's teacher either. It is impossible for him to spend all the time here in the ghost-killing squad, there are still some places that need to be visited. I have already taught Miss Butterfly how to activate these skills, but I cannot guarantee whether they can learn them successfully. It's okay, I believe in the children of Ghost Slayer, they won't let us down. In addition, I have seen a ghost that escaped from the control of Oniwutsuji. It is good at medical skills and often treats human diseases. If possible, it is best to contact her and develop some methods to suppress Oniwutsuji. Ghosts also have effective drugs, which will increase our chances of winning. Li Yiming suddenly thought of something, and put Zushi on the bright side again. Yuya Mayayashiki was not surprised, but nodded lightly. You are talking about Ms. Zushi, right? She also has contact with me occasionally, so let me convey it. Well, this is a little blood I collected from Tong Mo, I hope it can help Miss Zushi. As he spoke, Li Yiming took out a tube of blood from his bosom, and handed it to the hand of the obstetrician Shiki Yaya. The latter chuckled and said, "It's really a great help. It's a blessing for our Ghost Slayer squad and human beings to get your help, Mr. Li Yiming. On behalf of the Ghost Slayer squad, I thank you for your efforts. No, let's wait until we kill Ghost Dance Tsujimumi." Shaking his head lightly, Li Yiming slowly stood up from the ground. Mr. Yabayashiki should hurry up and notify the members of the Demon Slayer team to come back for joint training. I will leave here in 2 days and go to other places to find the blue higan flower. The planting location, the opportunity is fleeting, if you miss it, you can only wait another year. Therefore, everyone in the ghost killing squad should take good care of it. Don't worry, I have notified all the children to come back in advance. I believe they will all arrive tonight, and then they can start special training, and you will definitely not be disappointed. For the children of his family, Yan Yoshikuya showed full confidence. Regarding this point, Li Yiming also believed it very much, nodded and did not continue to say anything. In that case, I will take my leave first. Okay, I have been exhausted all the way, and I really need to rest more. I want Mr. Li Yiming to stay in the Dai house temporarily, and I will trouble you to take care of it. Butterfly Jenny, who had been silent for a long time, hurriedly stood up and nodded, yes, my lord, I will take good care of Mr. Yiming, then we will leave first, my lord, take care of yourself. After slightly bowing towards Yoyoshiki, Butterfly Connie took Li Yiming and left the mansion. It wasn't until the figures of the two of them disappeared completely that Yoyoshiki looked away. At this time, his mood can be described as extremely joyful. After such a long time, he finally saw that he could end the fate of thousands of years. There is nothing more exciting than this. Yaze, Mr. Li Yiming knows too much, I'm afraid. He is really proficient in news, he even knows about Miss Zushi, and even the things about Miss Zushi's relationship with me. It is really hard not to make people feel suspicious. Yabayashiki Amina's words made Yabayashiki Yaya nodded slightly, then looked at the sky, feeling the warmth of the sun, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. But so what, no matter how he knows these things, it will not affect our cooperative relationship. I can feel that he really wants to kill Ghost Mitsuji. As for other things, it is not important at all, maybe he is a messenger sent by the gods. Speaking of this, Yabayashiki couldn't help laughing himself. However, he probably won't know that his joking words have already guessed Li Yiming's origins quite closely. Tianyin, we will see that day come, the day when Ghost Mitsuji is wiped out. After leaving the Sanyashiki mansion, Li Yiming followed Butterfly Connie to Butterfly House. Mr. Yiming, this is the Butterfly House, the medical institution of the Ghost Killing Squad, which provides treatment and rehabilitation for injured team members. Ah, it's really beautiful. Li Yiming couldn't help but sigh with emotion in the surrounding environment of singing birds and fragrant flowers. As expected of a hospital, this kind of quieter place is really needed so that the injured can recover faster. Entering the front yard, two figures are discussing here, both of them are women. One of them is similar in appearance to Butterfly Jenny, and the other is cuter. Both of them have the same characteristic, that is, they are always expressionless, but in comparison, one is serious, and the other is indifferent. To be precise, I don't know how to express my emotions more accurately. Butterflies endure, chestnut flowers fall to Chanel. Both of them are very young at this time, no matter in terms of age or combat ability. Liwaloxiangne is obviously more immature. Although she is fighting with Butterfly Ninja, anyone with a discerning eye can see that the latter is releasing water. Liwaloxiangne is fighting completely based on an intuition. The talent is quite good, but it didn't succeed in making this talent into real capabilities. Shinobu, Kanai, I'm back. Butterfly Connie's voice sounded quietly, which made the two girls who were fighting seriously stop their movements instantly, and at the same time look towards the door of Butterfly House. The next moment, Butterfly Ninja showed a clear smile on his face. Sister, you are back. Didn't you go to investigate the matter of Wanshi Bliss? Butterfly Ren ran all the way to the front of Butterfly Chanahui, only then noticed Li Yiming. The smile on his face disappeared in an instant, and he turned into that picture of not getting close to strangers again. Sister, who is he? Xin Ren, you can't be rude. Gently knocking on her sister's forehead, Butterfly Connie gave a brief introduction. This is Mr. Li Yiming, a distinguished guest invited by the Lord. Live in Butterfly House, Shinobu, you and Connie, don't neglect, do you understand? Understood, sister. Butterfly endured holding his forehead and nodded. Butterfly Connie is not dead now, so although Butterfly Shinobi at the current stage is more serious, it is not as difficult as changing to the future. Li Hualuo Xiang Nai on the side also nodded slightly, but did not speak. Hey! Seeing this scene, Butterfly Chanahui could only sigh helplessly, and without saying anything, she took Li Yiming into the butterfly house. After personally arranging the accommodation for him, he politely closed the door and walked out. Lying on the bed, looking at the strange ceiling, Li Yiming let out a long sigh of relief. So far, all the plans have gone very smoothly. Next, we only need to find the blue flower of the other side, and wait for the pillars of the ghost-killing team to improve their strength a little, then we can start to advance. It's the final decisive battle. The pillars of the ghost-killing team don't need to be too strong, as long as they can hold back the 12 ghost moons and ensure their own safety. Perhaps we need to give more training time. If the pillars die because of lack of strength, that would be a bad idea. Also about the green Bana flower, I hope Zayaman Faji's family won't let me down. Muttering to himself softly, Li Yiming slowly closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep. The next day, Li Yiming learned of Zongji's return from Butterfly Journey. Since the special training is going to officially start, it is natural for him, the chief instructor, to come forward and pass on the opening methods of the penetrating world, Hideo and Zebra by the way. I really count on Butterfly Chanel 2.3 Hui, the efficiency is too low. As Li Yiming imagined, since there are still 4 full years before the start of the plot, there are only a few pillars of the ghost-killing team at present, which is really in the stage of being incomplete. The sound column can also be called Brother Gorgeous Yuzui Tianyuan. The rock pillar is also the strongest pillar, Morning Yu Xin Ming. Wind pillar, Immortal Kawas Haya. Snake column, Inside Yai Fennel. Style, Butterfly Chini. In addition, there are swordsmen with more potential. The future Yanzu Purgatory Xing Shulang, and Chongja Butterfly Shinobi have joined the practice. This is already one of the few assets of the ghost-killing team. Mizuzuki and Naraju, who had already retired, applied to return to the front line after learning the news, but they were rejected by Yuyami Ashiki. These trainers are here to stay. Tinder, if they fail, then it will be up to them afterwards. At the beginning, Kawashimai did not approve of Li Yiming's strength, and he calmed down after being beaten up, and started to practice quietly. After teaching him a young bird, the other man gradually quieted down. After learning about their future plans, none of them felt afraid, and even more excitedly devoted themselves to cultivation. This is the ghost-killing team. In order to kill all evil spirits and protect human beings, they can sacrifice their own lives. Li Yiming was also gradually infected by these cute guys, and spared no effort to teach them about the penetrating world, Hideo, and even Zebra's knowledge every day. The progress has been great, and it can almost be described as changing with each passing day. In fact, he can actively activate other people's stripes, but he has not made up his mind. Until this day, Akiazai suddenly sent someone to bring news. P.S. Thanks Jerry. Meow meow, Chu Wang Tianyi 18024. Example for the monthly ticket support. Chapter 75. Great people are not born great, but become great in the process of growing up. Yiming, the Lord has sent someone to send the news. The place you mentioned has been found. In the Zuhi training ground, Li Yiming, who was strictly supervising everyone's training, turned around, and beside him was Butterfly Chanahui with a joyful smile on his face. Oh! Yeah, I finally found it. The corners of Li Yiming's lips curled up slightly, and his expression gradually relaxed. For half a month, he stayed at the headquarters of the ghost-killing squad to train the guys in front of him. Although he lived a fulfilling life every day and achieved remarkable results, he always felt a little bored. The life in front of me is really exhausting. However, Butterfly Connie brought a nice piece of good news, and then you can move on. Has the specific location been clarified? Li Yiming asked softly. Well, Butterfly Chini nodded. Yin has brought news that the place is not far from the headquarters of our ghost killing team, and it will take about a few days to reach it. If you go all out, the time may be even shorter. Shall we go now? Of course, the fact is that I'm going alone is enough. That's okay, I can help, and I can take care of you if there is any emergency on the road. Butterfly Chanahui looked at Li Yiming nervously. After a moment of hesitation, Li Yiming still nodded softly in agreement. Okay, there's no problem if you want to go together, but you still have to bring your sister. Isn't she proficient in pharmacy? You may need her help for the preservation of the blue bana flower. I'll call Shinobu right now. The butterfly-like girl showed joy from the bottom of her heart, as if she was afraid of Li Yiming's repentance. After leaving the sentence, she hurriedly turned and ran towards Butterfly Ninja, who was working hard. The butterfly-like feathers and the bouncing figure make it look really confusing. Li Yiming shook his head with a chuckle, and his eyes became gentle. During these half a month, he and Butterfly Chanahui often stayed together, and the relationship between the two became very special, and he had a panoramic view of the girl's every move. There is no initiative, no rejection, everything is so silent. I don't know what the future will be like, but right now, just let it be. Leaving Zongju behind for devil training, Li Yiming brought two sisters, Butterfly Chanahui and 19 Butterfly Ninja, and rushed to a familiar mountain. Kamato Tanjiro's family lived in this place. It should be said to be very lucky, if it wasn't for the fact that the neon is not so big, and the information network of the ghost killing squad is larger than imagined. Li Yiming alone might not be able to find this place. However, as long as there are specific names and identity characteristics, it will not be particularly difficult to find them. A group of 3 people walked quickly into the mountains and forests, but the expression on Dai Dai Ren's face was slightly serious, and he looked at Yao Yiming with complicated eyes from time to time. The appearance of this man changed even her favorite elder sister. It was really disgusting. If the other party is not a distinguished guest of the Lord of the Ghost Killing Squad, I am afraid that according to Butterfly Ninja's personality, she would have faced swords and swords a long time ago, so how could she follow out so obediently? Even so, Butterfly Shinobu still doesn't give a good face. Li Yiming probably couldn't have guessed in his dreams, but Butterfly Ninja would actually have this idea in his heart. After a careful search, although the mountain in front of them was very large, Li Yiming and others still found the home of Zaemon Tanjiro with great precision. Kuazi Zaemon, who hadn't changed her clothes for thousands of years, was mending something at the door. When she noticed Li Yiming and others coming, this kind and simple woman stood up straight. "Hello, what are you doing here? You are Mrs. Zaemon, right? We are here from another city." Butterfly Chanahui stepped forward and responded with the same gentle smile. Zaemon Kuazi was obviously frightened by Butterfly Connie's words. She repeatedly confirmed that she didn't know these 3 young people, and she became even more confused. The act of keeping a respectful distance, on the contrary, sent out a warm invitation. "Several guests come in first, let's talk. Then bother you. Follow Kuei Ji at the stove door and enter the room, which is where the plot begins." As soon as he entered the house, 6 little radish heads instantly appeared in Li Yiming's eyes. The appearance of these little guys was very similar to that of Zaemon Kuazi. Among them, a man and a woman were the oldest, although they looked young, but they could still be recognized. Their identities are Head Pillar Kamato Tanjiro and Ghost Pillar Kamato Nezuko. The little guys looked at Li Yiming and Butterfly Chanahui, with puzzled expressions in their eyes. "Mom, who are these guests?" Kamato Tanjiro asked softly. "These are distinguished guests from big cities who came here to visit us. Tanjiro, please take Nezuko and the others outside to play for a while." With a deep apology on his face, Aoie Kamato said while stroking Tanjiro Kamato's head. Maybe there is still the meaning of protecting her own child in it. Although she is kind, she is not stupid. Although the three young people in front of her have good intentions, they cannot determine the specific intention of coming, so before everything is clear, let it safer for kids to go out and play. Tanjiro will take care of them. I see, Mom. Tanjiro Zaman nodded obediently, and at the same time gave Li Yiming three people a glance, and then pulled his younger brothers and sisters out of the house. Kamato Tanjiro, who has a magical sense of smell since he was a child, can naturally smell the smell of his mother, but because he didn't smell the dangerous smell from Li Yiming and others, he chose to obey his mother's words. However, he will not run too far. If something happens at home, you can run back as soon as possible. What Tanjiro Kamato didn't know was that Li Yiming had a panoramic view of all his actions, and the obvious appreciation in his eyes was worthy of being called the most gentle but not a virgin. Compared with a certain rabbit, Tanjiro Kamato can probably be called a real hero. Come with me, 3, and I will take you to meet my husband. Withdrawing their gaze, several people continued to follow behind Koizi at the stove door until they reached the end of the room. As the sliding window opened, a few slight coughing sounds happened to be heard inside. A thin, pale man was sitting under the quilt, looking towards the door. Koizi, who are these? Just when Zaman Koizi was about to explain, Li Yiming stepped forward first, and chose to speak. Mr. Zaman, please excuse me, my name is Li Yiming, and I came to visit you specially. These two are Butterfly Connie and Butterfly Shinobi, both of whom are ghost hunters of the ghost killing squad. Ghost Slayer. Kamato Tanjiro was slightly stunned by the unfamiliar yet familiar term. The time is too long. The Zaman family knew the existence of ghosts, and the Zaman ancestors Tanji and Zumitsu were hunted down by ghosts, and finally survived when they met Jikuyuanyi. It is also for this reason that the Zaman family passed down the sun's breath and earrings inherited from Jikuyuanyi from generation to generation, and even entrusted the existence of haunted ghosts to future generations. It's just because the inheritance is too long, and the records about ghosts are gradually cut off, but Kamato Tanjiro still remembers that the old man once said that there are monsters that eat people in the forest at night. But as long as you dance Kagura, the god of fire will bless you. Seemingly seeing Tanjiro Zaman's doubts, Li Yiming immediately explained. He first briefly described the situation of the Demon Slayer squad, then he told about the relationship between Jikuyuanyi and the Zaman family, and finally he took out the breath of the sun, which convinced Kamato Tanjiro completely. In reality, it is really not an easy thing to make others believe what you say. I really don't know how the other self did it when he was doing the time-traveling simulation. Is this the difference between the so-called high EQ and low EQ? I didn't expect Kagura, the god of fire, to have such a history. I really learned a lot today, cough cough. Before he could say a few words, Kamato Tanjiro began to cough violently. Because of the stripes on his head, even if they were not fully opened, they were still consuming his vitality. Even if he broke the 25-year-old limit, he wouldn't be able to live for too long. From the beginning to the end, there was only one man who died after turning on his stripes. Mr. Zaman, are you okay? Butterfly Connie was frightened by Zaman Tanjiro's appearance, and said with some concern, is there something wrong with you? It just so happens that my younger sister knows some medical skills, why don't you let her help you? Just check it out, maybe it will help you. Thank you Miss Butterfly for your kindness, but don't bother, this is already an old problem. With the help of Zaman Koizi, Zaman Tanjiro finally regained his strength. With a thankful smile on his face, many doctors have also seen for me, but none of them can do anything, and I'm used to this life, so I don't bother you anymore. This. Butterfly Connie didn't know what to say. The patient is unwilling to cooperate with the treatment, even if the doctor has great abilities, he can't change his fate against the sky. Don't say it, Connie, What Mr. Zayaman said is right. It's not a disease that can't be cured by Shinobu. It's because the stripes are killing his life, so he is getting weaker and weaker. Generally, people who have stripes they can't live to be 25 years old, but because Mr. Zayaman's stripes haven't been fully opened, they can last until now, but... Li Yiming didn't say the following words, but the meaning was already very obvious. Zayaman Kuazi's expression became dim, and his eyes were filled with tears, but Kamato Tanjiro was as calm as ever, with a smile on his mouth, as if he didn't care about his own life or death. So that's the case? I was worried about some disease in the family, and I was afraid it would affect Tanjiro and the others, but now I can feel at ease after hearing this. I'm afraid it's too early for you to feel at ease. Li Yiming recalled that when he saw Kataman Tanjiro at the door, there was already a scar on his forehead. If there is no accident, it is also destined to open the markings. However, there may be a solution later on. After all, Oleli is called the Labyrinth City, and it is also the capital of the gods. It is not a problem to solve the loss of vitality, the premise is that you can find the right people to help. I think those gods who are good at making potions should have a way. Okay, don't talk about me anymore, but Mr. Li Yiming, you have come here from a long distance, do you need our help with something important? After comforting his wife, Kamato Tanjiro brought the topic back on track. Sister Butterfly immediately sat upright, her expression became very serious. Li Yiming was not polite, and nodded directly. It is true that there is something that needs Mr. Kitchen Door's help. I wonder if you have seen a magical plant on this mountain again? This kind of food will only be open during the day, to be exact said to be in the sunlight. Shoots are in full bloom and only grow a few days each year. Plants that bloom during the day. Zayaman Tanjiro didn't know much about these Zayaman Tanjiro, but Zayaman Ayazi on the side showed a thoughtful face, as if recalling all the plants he had seen in his mind. Li Yiming did not urge him, but patiently waited for the other party to think. Excuse me, Mr. Li Yiming, are you talking about a kind of green licorice? After repeated memories, Zayaman Kuazi did think of a relatively similar plant, but he was not sure whether it was what the other party needed, so he described it again. It is a very special kind of licorice, the color has never been seen before, it was picked by Nezuko back then, I thought it was a weed, did not expect it to be such an important thing. And this kind of green licorice is indeed like what you said, Mr. Li Yiming, it will only bloom on a few specific days of the year, and it will wither at night. If it wasn't for you. I almost forgot about today's reminder. Received an affirmative reply from Zayaman Ayazi, Butterfly Connie and Butterfly Shinobu showed obvious expressions of excitement on their faces. Li Yiming remained calm, and nodded with a smile. If there is no accident, that is what we are looking for. 633, but we call it the blue bana flower, if the ghost general. If it is taken, it can be immune to the weakness of the sun, and even the sun will knife may not be able to kill it. We want to use it to draw out the ancestor of ghosts. Mrs. Zayaman, you really helped me a lot. No, I didn't help much, and we didn't know the function of that thing at all. We used to pick it as a wild vegetable and eat it. If we knew how precious it was, It will not do that. Facing Li Yiming's praise, Zayaman Kuazi waved his hands in a panic. Hearing this, the corners of Sister Butterfly's eyes twitched slightly. The treasure that Giwatsuji pursued for thousands of years was actually eaten as a wild vegetable. I don't know how the ancestor of ghosts will feel after knowing the news. You must be going crazy with anger and jealousy. But no matter what, the blue higan flower has also been found, so it is not a problem to lure Oniwutsuji out. Their ghost-killing team will definitely kill this evil person with their own hands. Mr. Li Yiming, what do you mean by leading out the ancestor of ghosts? Compared with Zayaman Kuazi's embarrassment, Zayaman Tanjiro grasped the point directly. He also learned a lot about ghosts from Li Yiming's mouth, which made the three The green licorice, which people value so much, is obviously not a simple item, which also makes him, who is extremely ill, full of curiosity. It's actually like this, Mr. Zayaman. Due to being too excited, Butterfly Connie did not hide anything and revealed the plan of the ghost killing team, including the decisive battle with Ghost Dance Jiwoo in the near future. After hearing these words, Kamato Tanjiro was instantly in awe. I didn't expect that the ghost killing squad was actually doing such a great thing in a place that people don't know. It's really embarrassing. I don't know if this operation can bring me and let my cruel. The broken body also tried its best. Tanjiro. Koizi from Zayaman suddenly exclaimed. She originally wanted to stop her, but when she saw her husband's firm and gentle eyes, she could no longer utter the words of refusal, and there were only endless worries. Brother Li Yiming also said before that the god of fire Kagura of our Zayaman family comes from the ancestor of Jiku Yuan, who was once the main force of the ghost-killing team and almost killed the ghost dance. The existence of Tsuji Wumi, since he passed on this power to the ancestors of the Zayaman, he naturally wanted future generations to be able to accomplish what he said he had accomplished. Speaking of this, Kamato Tanjiro's expression became very gentle, as if he had seen through life and death. Because of the influence of stripes, I don't have much time left to live. I don't want my children and others to face the danger of being killed by ghosts, so at least I can still move. Time, do your best. I don't know if it's okay. Li Yiming remained silent, and his gaze stayed on Kamato Tanjiro. He now understands the meaning of a sentence, great people are not born great, but become great in the process of growing up. Chapter 76 Complete Preparations, the final battle begins. Thanks to Zeroza, Juvenile Fur for reminder. If this is your wish, Mr. Zayaman, then I have no reason to refuse. After a moment of silence, Li Yiming finally agreed to Kamato Tanjiro's request, even though the opponent didn't know any combat skills at the moment, but he had no reason to stop him. Who can stop the young samurai from going to die? They can't hear. Thank you so much. Kamato Tanjiro showed a gentle expression as always, although he could see his reluctance for his wife and children from his eyes, but he still did not regret it. Perhaps this is to use the last flame of life to illuminate the way forward for future generations. If you can create a safer living environment for your wife and children in the remaining time, you will not hesitate to sacrifice your life. Of course, this may be cruel to Kamato Tanjiro and Kamato Tanjiro. But where there are so many perfections in the world, there are often joys and sorrows, even the gods are powerless to change, this is life. Connie, Shinobu, let's go out first. Li Yiming greeted Sister Butterfly in a soft voice, and left the bedroom, leaving this limited time to the couple Zayaman Tanjiro and Zayaman Koizi. With Kamato Tanjiro's body, after the final decisive battle, there is no guarantee that he will survive. At this time, don't bother them. Walking out of Zayaman's wooden house, Zayaman Tanjiro and others were standing obediently not far away. When they saw the three of them appear, the 6 little carrot heads stood up immediately and walked quickly into the house. Maybe I want to see the specific situation of my parents. Li Yiming doesn't care about the existence of these little ghosts now, mainly because they are too young. Even Tanjiro Kamato, who is the protagonist, is very young now, and there is no need to pay too much attention. Maybe he will be very important in the future. Potential, but forget it for now. Yiming, do you think we can defeat Ghost Dance? Butterfly Chanahui has come to Li Yiming's side at some point, and the girl's delicate face is full of uneasy emotions. Because of the words between Zayaman Tanjiro and Zayaman Aoie, she fell into deep worry. If such a huge battle fails accidentally, I am afraid that Aniwood Tsuji will have no way to solve it. At that time, countless human beings will die. That kind of picture makes Butterfly Connie feel deep fear. An extreme idea even appeared in her mind. Maybe it seems good as it is now, at least there is the existence of the ghost-killing team, which can protect most human beings. Connie, believe me, and I also believe in the ghost killing team, we will kill Anime Tsujimua, and the hatred of thousands of years will come to an end in our generation. Li Yiming stretched out his hands to embrace Butterfly Chanahui into his arms, with a gentle and firm tone. Feeling the scorching heat, Butterfly Chani, who was still uneasy, quickly calmed down, and subconsciously wrapped her hands around Li Yiming's back, her cheeks turned slightly rosy. The two hugged each other like other people, only Dai Ninja's face was getting darker and darker. She felt that her sister really wanted to get away from her. After the Zayaman family came over slowly, they began to pack their luggage. Kamato Tanjiro wanted to participate in the battle against Anime Tsujimua. Kamato Aoie didn't want her husband to face such a dangerous thing alone, so she decided to move to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad. Even if they couldn't participate in battle, at least it can provide logistical help. After hearing the news, Li Yiming could only nod his head in agreement. Anyway, when the time comes, just arrange them directly among the support staff of the Demon Slayer squad, and then evacuate with them for refuge. I believe that Yuyasui will not refuse. After all, I found such a powerful helper for him. Even if the current Kamato Tanjiro doesn't know the combat skills that are required by the breath of the sun, he can dance the blessing dance over time. He is already very familiar with the dance pattern of the breath of the sun, and he can learn it with just guidance, and he has a penetrating world. With the blessing of Kamato Tanjiro, the strength of Kamato Tanjiro may be far beyond imagination. Under the leadership of Zayaman Nezuko, he successfully found the location of the blue bana flower. The preservation method of the blue higan flower is beyond his imagination. According to Nezuko, although this plant will only bloom for a few days in a year, and it will wither completely if it cannot be exposed to sunlight, but as long as it is picked, it can be stored for a long time. However, the only disadvantage is that the picked blue bana flowers do not have the possibility of replanting. However, this is undoubtedly good news for mankind. Bringing a cyan bana flower, a group of people embarked on the road back to the ghost-killing squad. Since there were a lot of people on the way back, and there were children, it took a little longer. By the time I got back to the headquarters of the ghost-killing squad, another week had passed. Arrange Kamato Tanjiro into the training team, and the rest of the Zayaman family will enter the Butterfly House, temporarily acting as logistics staff, providing help to the Demon Slayer team within their capabilities. After finishing all this, Li Yiming went straight to the backyard of Butterfly House. During the time they were away, Zushi received a letter from Yoya Yabayashiki, and deliberately concealed his body and rushed to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad from Asakusa, Tokyo. Meeting this intellectual woman for the first time, Li Yiming was still shocked by her beautiful appearance. Miss Zushi, thank you for making a special trip. No, it's my honor to be trusted by members of the Demon Slayer squad and to invite us to participate in the action against Ghost Mitsuji. As gentle as the image in memory, even the words are soft. Zushi leaned back slightly, his eyes flashed with excitement. I heard from Mr. Yuyashiki that Tongmo's blood was provided by Mr. Li Yiming. It's great. Contains a large amount of Anamui Tsuji's blood. With his blood as the research material, I can develop a poison that weakens Anamui Tsuji in at most 2 months. I have always believed in your medical skills, Miss Zushi, but my suggestion is to first research the poison that prevents him from splitting. Weakening him is not the goal. The most important thing is to prevent him from escaping. As for weakening the ghost poison, as long as it is researched to the extent that it affects the winding ghost. Li Yiming shook his head lightly, and gave Zushi some advice. Compared with Oni Wutsuji's strength, the opponent's ability to escape is even more dreadful. Even Jiku Yuanyi, who is known as the strongest demon slayer blade, couldn't stop Kiwutsuji from escaping miserably in his heyday, and Li Yiming didn't have the confidence to chop up all 1,800 pieces of meat. Hearing this sentence, Zushi seemed a little hesitant. She is the only one who knows how powerful Oni Mitsuji is. If you only limit its division without weakening its strength, it will be difficult to kill it completely with the strength of the demon-killing team. Suddenly, Zushi even began to doubt whether he was right to come here. She has already begun to think about whether to dissuade Yashiki Yoya from giving up this plan. As if seeing what Zushi was thinking, Li Yiming smiled lightly, and he was not in a hurry to prove his strength, but added, "Miss Zushi, if you are really worried, you can study 2 poisons at the same time, as long as you don't if it's too much trouble." "I see, I will develop both poisons." Zushi was undoubtedly relieved by Li Yiming's change of words, which at least proved that the man in front of him was not a blind and arrogant person, so coupled with various preparations, it was not impossible to kill Giwutsuji Wuken. Of course there is no problem. The ghost killing squad also has people who are good at disposing poison. They will cooperate with you unconditionally. Miss Zushi, I look forward to your good news. Zushi bowed again, and then left the room with Yashiro. Time waits for no one, and the poison that suppresses Oni Wutsuji's split, the poison that weakens Oni Wutsuji's strength, and the medicine that turns ghosts back into humans must be manufactured in the shortest possible time. She has been waiting for hundreds of years, but now she doesn't want to wait any longer. With the assistance of Butterfly Ninja and Tongmo's blood, I believe that these 3 potions will be made soon, and by that time, it will be the time to launch a decisive battle. I really hope that day will come soon. In this way, the ghost-killing squad was completely invisible for 2 full months. The high-end combat power has undergone a qualitative leap during this period. Biming Yu Xingming and Ihe Xiaobania have successfully entered the highest realm and mastered the power to penetrate the world. Very limited. It's a pity that the few remaining people failed to open the transparent world, and the Hideo can only be opened by the impact of weapons caused by full force, and its strength is slightly inferior. Among them, the most powerful change is Kamato Tanjiro. Don't look at his terminally ill and fragile appearance, but after he learned the God of Fire Kagura from Li Yiming, that is, the supporting combat skills of the Breath of the Sun, just the moment he holds the Sun Will knife, the He knife will be opened immediately. As a result, his strength has also been horribly increased. Apart from Li Yiming, even Yanzubai Minjio Xingming was no match for him. This undoubtedly made everyone in the ghost-killing team more excited and more confident about the upcoming final battle. So, in such an anxious wait and torment, everyone was looking forward to the most important step. On this day, almost everyone stopped training and gathered around Daiwu. The most irritable Feng Jibushikawa Minami kept walking back and forth, with impatience written all over her face. Deliberately wanting to open the door to ask about the progress, but afraid of disturbing the research of Zushi and Butterfly Ninja, he could only shake his hands and repeat the back and forth movements. Li Yiming on the side rolled his eyes angrily, feeling a little bad all over. Squeak. Before he had an attack, the door of the butterfly house was opened from the inside. Almost everyone at the scene looked in the same direction, and saw Zushi and Butterfly Shinobu's faces were full of exhaustion, but more of it was joy that could not be concealed. Facing a large number of eyes on the scene, the 2 of them looked at each other, and then said in unison, "Everyone, fortunately, we succeeded. Great, I finally waited until this day, the final battle. Amitba. This time, we must kill all the ghosts." Everyone issued declarations one after another, exuding a sky-high aura. Even Yoya Miyashiki clasped his hands tightly together, unaware that the flesh in his palm was pierced by nails. The only person on the scene who could keep calm was Li Yiming. Then, Mr. Yubayashiki, I will leave it to you to inform Animatsuji. That Tien Spider Mountain is the old lair of the next string. Animatsuji can see the picture of Oni before he dies. We will wait for him at that place. Well, I believe this news will definitely make him lose his ability to judge. Oh, he's sure to get the message. Yabayashiki Yoya let go of his clenched hands, his eyes swept over everyone in front of him, with a touch of worry and encouragement in his eyes, until he glanced at the last person. Child. Ladies and gentlemen, the next one will be the decisive battle with Animatsuji. He is very powerful and has countless evil spirits under his command. This is an extremely difficult battle. Some of you are very. You may die, but future generations will forever extol your deeds today. I remember the names of each of you. If you die in this battle, the ghost killing squad will take care of your family and pay homage to you every year. Your blood will never be shed in vain. If this battle ends in our defeat, then as the Lord, I will definitely not live alone, and I will personally give thanks in front of the tombs of all of you. Sin, I will live and die with you, so, please, everyone, must kill Animatsujimu. After the words fell, Yoyama Yayashiki stood up and bowed deeply to everyone. The members of the ghost-killing squad knelt down on one knee, their voices tore through the sky. Don't worry, my lord, we will definitely kill Ghost Mitsujimu, and end the Millennium War. Hatred. I trust you guys, everything shoots. Yuya Yabayashiki smiled at the corner of his mouth, his eyes were also filled with a touch of crystal, and then looked at Li Yiming. The latter nodded lightly with a faint smile on his face, then glanced at the crowd, and said loudly, all units participating in the battle should go down and prepare, bring the poison that weakens the evil spirits, within half an hour. Afterwards, set off for Nation Spider Mountain. Yes. Hearing this, everyone nodded excitedly. Pucci. As the blade slid across, Wu Lei's neck was separated from his body. When his body slowly dissipated, Li Yiming directly took out a jade box and partially opened the lid. Ghost danced Tsuji Wumi, I know you have been looking for the blue flower of the other side. I happen to have what you dream of here. I will wait for you at the Spider Mountain in that field. Don't make me wait too long. The voice fell, and the tiredness completely dissipated in the world. At the same time, Wei Wuji Wubian also sensed the tired death. Tongmo's death had already made him very angry, and the black dead Mao sent out couldn't find any trace of Li Yiming, which made him very annoyed. Now he is very optimistic about the death of Li Yiming. Undoubtedly, this made Boss Yao even more furious, unable to maintain his usual composure. Damn ghost killing team, after I get rid of the ghost hunter who killed Tong Mo, it will be your turn. While swearing, Oni Wutsuji began to flip through the pictures left by Lei before his death. With just one glance, he stood up from the chair in an instant, his pupils contracted into needles, endless joy surged out, and a ferocious smile appeared on his face. The Cyanbana flower, it's really the Cyanbana flower, ha ha ha, I finally found it. It's that kid who killed Tong Mo again, but this time he really gave me a big gift. As long as I take the blue Bana flower, I will become the most perfect creature. When the time comes, no one is my opponent, even if Jiku Yuanyi is resurrected. The voice of the voice suddenly stopped, and Ghost Wutsuji trembled subconsciously. Sure enough, the shadow left by Jiku Yuanyi in his heart was still too great, even though the other party had passed away for many years, he still didn't dare to speak loudly. Hee, this is human beings. They are too hasty. They don't know what forbearance is. Even if all the members of the ghost-killing team arrive, they will not be able to stop me. I will get the blue opponent. Shore flowers, and then eat all the ghost hunters to become the most perfect creatures in the world, and the world will fall under my rule. Oni Wutsuji's face showed a cruel expression, at this moment his ambition finally grew infinitely. Naru, gather all the ghosts and set off to Nation Spider Mountain. The goal is to destroy the ghost-killing team and the human who killed Tong Mo, and take the blue Higan flower. Yes, Lord Wumi. Mingnu gently stroked the piano, and hastily obeyed the order. Teleporting so many targets at once consumes a lot of money for her, but as Oni Wutsuji's close attendant, knowing the character of the other party, she naturally dare not refuse. All the ghosts were sent to the infinite city, except for the 12 ghosts, even the other ordinary ghosts came. In a short period of time, numerous ghosts appeared in the infinite city. The final battle is about to begin. Chapter 77. You really can't talk too much. No misfortune, come out to bask in the sun. Thanks to a 942. For the monthly pass. Nation Spider Mountain at night can be described as gloomy and windy. There was no singing of birds, no singing of insects, but only the sound of the wind whistling from a distance, and the trees on the mountain were all rustling in this biting wind. The entire Nation Spider Mountain was almost shrouded in a chill atmosphere. At this moment, with a wave of space fluctuations, countless figures quietly appeared in sight. The terrifying scene in front of me can truly be called the Night Walk of the 100 Ghosts. The leading ghost is undoubtedly Oni Mitsuji Mumi in a suit. At this time, his attire is still so gorgeous and elegant. If there is no longing and cruel smile on his face, then he may really be killed. Be a noble son, not the ancestor of ghosts. My lord, there is a lot of human aura on the mountain, but the whole mountain has been shrouded in purple mist, and I don't know what it is. Should we continue to move forward? Boom. As soon as the unknown nonsense spoke, his head split open instantly, and his whole body turned into a puddle of blood and sprinkled on the ground. I don't need others to ask me to do something. Oni Wutsuji looked cold. Such a decisive act made all the ghosts around couldn't help being terrified. Their bodies trembled slightly and they lowered their heads. No one can stop me from taking Sayonbana, we will kill all those who run away. All ghosts, enter the Spider Mountain in that field, find the ghost hunter, and take the blue bana flower. Yes, my lord Wumi. None of the ghosts dared to disobey Anematsuji's order, even if the purple mist floating around didn't know what it was, they would go in no matter how dangerous it was. Entering the area shrouded in purple mist, all the evil spirits did not feel anything strange. The aura of all the swordsmen of the ghost-killing squad permeated the entire Nation Spider Mountain, and no one knew who had the blue bana flower, so the ghosts naturally chose to disperse. This is exactly one of the plans of Yoyabayashiki. Spread out the 12 ghost moons, and then break them down one by one. Winding Luluji was jumping among the branches. She no longer had the dignified appearance she had when she was in disguise, the ghostly features appeared on her face, and the whole person kept jumping on the trees. Suddenly, Luoji stopped her movements and looked forward. Yo, it's finally here, wind up, then let's start the battle gorgeously, style. Ah, Mr. Tianyuan, please give me more advice. Yinzuyazui Tianyuan and Huazu Butterfly Connie stood together. Both of them had faint smiles on their faces, and stopped Luluji, who started to bulge out a meatball from his neck. W. Ritaro quickly appeared, and the four confronted each other face to face. On the other side, Snake Zuyai Zioba Nei faced Wu Yahu who was wound up, and Immortal Chuan Xia met the stringed Sibin Tiangu. Morning Yu Xin Ming stopped San Yu Wozuo who was wound up. And the strongest ghost of the upper string, one of the upper strings, Black Death Mao, is facing Zayaman Tanjiro. The remaining ordinary ghosts will be dealt with by Purgatory Xing Shulang and Butterfly Ninja leading the other swordsmen of the ghost-killing team. It is not necessary to kill them, but only to delay time. After all, these ghosts are not important, and the important thing is always only the ghost Wujitsuji. Walking in the Spider Mountain with Naruto, Anematsuji did not encounter any human beings, but he was still able to clearly capture the fierce battles taking place in other places. He doesn't care about the outcome of his subordinates' battles, he only cares about where the blue bana flower is. Not far away, Li Yiming, who had been leaning against the tree, felt this breath from a long distance away, raised his hand to pick up the sunwheel knife next to him, and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. Is it finally here? It really made me wait for a while. Woohoo, the dancer. Capturing the battle fluctuations from other directions, it seems that the plan is going smoothly. Before the final decisive battle, he has already told others about the abilities and weaknesses of all the string ghosts. Although the specially trained pillars may not necessarily you can win, but at least you will never lose. Mr. Yiming, please be careful, please. Zhu Shi and Yushiro stood aside, their faces filled with faint prayers. Li Yiming kept moving forward with the sun will knife on his shoulders, without stopping, but the corners of his mouth were slightly raised, and he waved his back to the two of them. Don't worry, Miss Zushi, all this will be left to you. Me, I will defeat Animatsuji no miserably, and end everything. Then Yushiro, it's up to you to help others. Hey Yi, I will do my best, at any cost, leave it to me. After the words fell, Li Yiming's figure had gradually faded away. After walking for a certain distance, he stopped and stood directly opposite, and Giwatsuji Wumi and Narumi also stood in the same place, looking at each other silently. I finally found you, the ghost hunter who killed Tong Mo. It's very impolite to call me that. After all, I'm not like you. I've even forgotten my own name, and I've turned into this kind of person, ghost and ghost. It's really sad. Without the imagined scene of fighting as soon as they meet, Li Yiming is still in the mood to tease the boss. Everything will end today, so the battle is not in a hurry. If you can use words to delay the time, the situation will become more favorable. However, Animatsuji Mumi didn't seem to have any interest in continuing to chat. No need to talk nonsense, just hand over the blue bana flower. I can mercifully forgive you for killing Tong Mo, and give you blood, so that you and I can enjoy eternal life together. Humans are weak and will experience birth, old age, sickness, and death. Only ghosts are the most perfect creatures. I offer you the blue bana flower, and I allow you to join me. As he said that, Animatsuji Muken really put out his hands in a pretentious manner. This very funny look made Li Yiming couldn't help laughing out. You are so interesting, Goiwutsuji Wumi, how can you say such ridiculous words in a serious manner? I always feel that you are all five of his brains have grown in vain, otherwise it would be impossible to say such words. You wanna die? Hearing Li Yiming scolding himself for being stupid, Giwutsuji, who claims to be a perfect creature, couldn't stand it. His suit exploded in an instant, and his arm directly turned into a thorn whip, stabbing towards Li Yiming in an instant. Li Yiming suppressed his smile in an instant, his expression froze, and he disappeared in place. With both feet on the trunk of a tree, the sun will knife is hidden in the waist, and the other hand is holding the handle of the knife. Thunder's breath one-type thunderbolt flash. There was a thunderous roar in the air, and the speed under full force made Goiwutsuji feel frightened. Just when he was about to use the thorn whip to resist, the silver lightning disappeared. It's so naive. There was a chuckle in the air, and Giwutsuji realized that Li Yiming's target was never him, but the Narajo who came with him. However, even now it is too late to realize. A flash of silver lightning flashed across, and Naruto, who was standing not far away, didn't even react at all. Her head had already been cut in half by Li Yiming, and her whole body turned into ashes and disappeared into the sky. Even if you kill Naruto, so what? Do you think you can defeat me? Even at this time, Giwutsuji still doesn't care. He is the most powerful creature in the world, and no one is his opponent except Jikuyu Yi. Even the guy in front of him who is stronger than the average column is the same. Don't say it too early. When you met Jikuyu Yi, you also looked disdainful. In the end, you were instantly killed by him. If you didn't split up into a pile of pieces and fled in all directions, you would have no chance to stand. I continued to speak in front of me, so in order to prevent you from escaping again, it is better to erase the unstable factors first. What do you think? Having said that, Li Yiming showed a playful smile on his face. But it was this kind of frivolous attitude that made Animatsuji Mumi show an expression as if he had stepped on a sore foot, and his face became completely ferocious. Damn human, go to hell. Boss Scraps shook his body, his clothes were completely torn apart, and 9 pipe whips stretched out from his back, attacking again mercilessly. Even the air was shattered by this attack. Are you angry? Then I won't be kidding anymore, let's go to war. With a restrained smile, Li Yiming threw the scabbard aside, clenched the sun will knife with both hands, slashed continuously to block the 9 pipe whips, and shook them away with great force. Let me show you something slightly interesting. Breath of the Sun one-shape round dance. The flames overflowed, and Li Yiming disappeared in the same place in an instant, and appeared in front of Gewuchsuji Wumi in an instant, with the sun will knife in his hand, carrying the fire of the sun, and slashed towards the latter. Impossible. The familiar picture made Animatsuji Mumi show a frightened expression. Jabai controlled the whip attack almost subconsciously, but with a flash of fire, the whip was cut off by Li Yiming, and the sun will knife continued to move forward unabated. Outlined by the picture in front of him, the inner sense of fear, Gewuchsuji no misery no longer keeps it. The whip on the leg stretched out again, and even the hands turned into thorn whips, frantically swiping towards Li Yiming in front of him, as if he really wanted to knock him back from his side at all costs. Breath of the Sun 3 shapes red mirror of the sun. The high-speed waving blocked all the attacks, and at the same time left 2 deep scars on Animatsuji's body. With the effect of the sun's breath and the katana, the wounds continuously felt burning pain, double blessing under this condition. Even as the ancestor of ghosts, the speed of recovery is still suppressed. However, the pain in his body at this time was not enough to make Gewuchsuji care. What he cared more about was why this damned human being in front of him breathed the sun. He obviously doesn't have that kind of earrings. Where did he learn this trick? At the beginning, he killed almost all the people who knew about the breath of the sun and Hideo, but now a human who has mastered these 2 skills suddenly appeared. What a joke. Jikuyuan-yi, you damn undead, even if you die, will you cause me trouble? There was a dull pain in his chest. Gewuchsuji's expression was equally ugly, and he even had the idea of retreating in his heart, which shows how deep a psychological shadow Jikuyuan-yi left in his heart. Do you want to hibernate again and boil this human being to death before entering the world? The existence of the Cyanbana flower has been confirmed, so there is no need to be so anxious. You just need to be careful in the future. There is no need to fight with your life here. In an instant, Wei Wuji Wulian had a decision in his mind. The next moment, he turned around and prepared to flee. What happened? It was at this time that Gewuchsuji suddenly felt something strange in his body. That faint sense of disobedience came from his body, and his body was being consumed at a terrifying speed. Don't be so surprised, look at your chest. Li Yiming jumped to the front of Gewuchsuji Wumi, pointed at the latter's chest and said with a smile. As soon as these words came out, Gewuchsuji Wumi hurriedly lowered his head and saw a needle tube was inserted into his chest at this time, and the liquid inside had already been injected into his body, producing effects in his body. There are several kinds, one of which accelerated the aging of his cells. In addition, there is actually a medicine that can turn ghosts back into humans. This medicine works together with another medicine, and it is like jaundice attached to the bone, which is difficult to break down. Even the restoration ability of the ancestor of ghosts requires a lot of physical strength. Really careless. Damn BD, actually researched this kind of thing. Is it Zushi's traitor? I didn't expect your ghost killing team to get involved with ghosts, but you want to kill me just like that. It's too whimsical. I remember you guy, I won't let you go. Leaving a harsh word, Ghost Danced Suji turned around and started to run away. The current situation is very unfavorable to him. It is best to leave this place as soon as possible, and then find a safe environment to decompose the various drugs in the body. I won't let you escape. This is the cemetery I chose for you. Go there with peace of mind. Breath of the Sun shape of situation Phantom Sunbo. Breath of the Sun Wuji type train. The coherent moves fell one by one, and an Amuitsuji, who was on the attack, was caught in an instant when he couldn't dodge. Before he could dodge, he was directly chopped off and fell to the ground. The terrifying impact directly overturned the ground, and the air was instantly squeezed. "No, I want to escape." There was deep fear in Goiwutsuji's eyes, and a premonition appeared in his mind that if he could not escape, he might really die in this place today. Already unable to pay attention to the various reactions in his body, under full control, his body began to expand continuously, like a balloon ready to explode. However, this expansion disappeared quickly. "How is it possible? I can't decompose it, don't tell me." "That's right, there are three kinds of medicine in your body: the medicine that turns ghosts back into humans, the poison that makes you old, and the poison that prevents you from splitting. As for the purple mist outside the spider mountain in that field, it's just a poison used to suppress the strength of Shangxian ghost. You have nowhere to escape. Don't even think about other ghosts coming to save you, they should be too busy to take care of themselves right now." Li Yiming's voice was extremely cold, and his words didn't contain much emotion. And just like what he said, the battles in other parts of Nation Spider Mountain were also very smooth. The pillars who had greatly increased their strength and knew themselves and the enemy, even if they were dealing with the ghost of the string, still old with ease. Butterfly Connie and Yuzui Tianyuan cooperated tacitly to behead the fallen princess and the Prstu Taro first. Then the two quickly supported the others. Yahoo and Bantiangu died one after another, and Uozuo was no match for Yanzubai Minjio Xingming at all, and was on the verge of collapse. It is the most terrifying battlefield, where Haishimu and Zaemon Tanjiro still go back and forth. Li Yiming had fully anticipated the situation in each battlefield, and the ghost-killing team had an overall advantage, and there would be no ghosts who could come to rescue Ghost Dance. "Let's go on the road with peace of mind, Boss Crumbs. Damn it, how could I die in this kind of place?" Goiwutsuji Mumi's pupils turned scarlet, and after a roar, his body began to swell violently again. Seeing this scene, Li Yiming's pupils shrank slightly, and he saw through the world precisely through the opponent's body. Completely different from the last time, this time Ghost Wutsuji's limbs were successfully split. Although it was not particularly obvious, at least it did. Not good, a little bit too complacent. Li Yiming frowned slightly, and the speed of his hands couldn't help but speed up. The Japanese knife slashed on Animatsuji's neck, but the latter's split had been completed, and his whole body instantly turned into a large amount of meat, which flew in all directions. Breath of the Sun Shizen form. All the combat skills of the Breath of the Sun are used one after another. This set of swordsmanship forms a cycle, and the Sun Will knife containing the fire of the sun is swung at high speed. Incinerate a large amount of meat scraps into slag. With the suppression of drugs, Giwutsuji Wu can only split more than 500 pieces, but he still escaped part of it. When he stopped, there was no other figure in front of his eyes. It really taught me a lesson. The villain died because of talking too much, but it's very rare you can't escape. The opponent's position was precisely locked in his mind. Li Yiming followed quickly, and left Nation Spider Mountain directly, and found a few kilometers away who was wriggling on the ground and wanted to recover. Crumb Boss. Come out to bask in the sun. Chapter 78 Final Evaluation, S+. Keys, Cards, Machines. Flowers plus update. Please subscribe. Oni Wutsuji was full of resentment, but he couldn't say a word anymore. Originally consumed by Li Yiming's Breath of the Sun, coupled with the scar left by Jiku Yuanyi on his body, two similar energies frantically consumed his body. He tried to escape by splitting his body, but now he was completely injured and was unable to do other things. To put it simply, Ghost Mitsuji has completely lost his ability to resist now, and he can't even suppress the effects of drugs in his body. His body is slowly changing, and he is recovering in the direction of human beings, and his hair is also due to accelerated the medicine of aging and become snow white. In Li Yiming's sight, this man who was still high-spirited before had become exhausted. Silently watching the scene in front of him, he shook his head lightly. I never expected that the poison made by Miss Zhu Shi could completely restrict your splitting, and it almost made you run away. It's a pity that you met it's me, although I'm not as powerful as Ji Kuyuan Yi, but I still have abilities that he doesn't have. Ghost Mike Tsuji is not miserable. If you want to blame it, blame yourself for your bad luck. It is probably the so-called God's will to be able to randomly generate a positioning talent. However, today's incident also sounded a wake-up call for Li Yiming. Before the matter is fully determined, he must not relax, and he must not have the idea that everything will be fine. I almost let this guy run away today, but fortunately I kept my grudge for positioning. There is still some time before dawn. Judging from the current situation of Oni Wutsuji, it is obviously unlikely to last until then. It seems that the idea of taking him to bask in the sun is obviously a bit unrealistic. It's really cheap for you, so let me take you on the road. Slowly raised the sun wheel knife in his hand, the fiery red knife body was wrapped in the flames of the sun, cut off under Anime Tsuji's terrified and desperate eyes, separated his head from his body, and at the same time all the heart and brain in his body also completely shattered. There was no sound of screams, only the flames began to rise. In the process of gradually transforming back into a human being, Ghost Mike Tsuji was caught in a sea of flames at the same time. Her vitality and recovery ability dropped rapidly, and finally she fell directly into the flames. With the dissipation of the flame, all traces of his existence have been completely erased. At the same time, on Nation Spider Mountain, the ghost hunters who were fighting ghosts suddenly stopped their movements, and the evil ghosts in front of everyone showed strange behaviors. The evil spirits showed pain on their faces, fell to the ground and struggled continuously, but in the end they could only be completely reduced to ashes. The ghosts have all disappeared. Does that mean that Ghost Mike Tsuji is dead? I don't know who murmured subconsciously, and the other people on the scene also had this idea in an instant. They looked at each other, and they all saw each other's already rosy eyes. Anime Tsujimu died tragically. Accompanied by loud cheers, all members of the Ghost Slayer squad fell to the ground with their sundial knives, hugging each other in twos and threes and screaming excitedly. Some knelt on the ground in a daze, and some even lay down crying loudly on the ground. Tears soaked the soil on the ground. Completely different from the fierce battle just now, this moment can only be called a group of demons dancing wildly. Far away in the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad, Yoya Yubayashiki, who had been expecting the result of the battle, was taken aback for a moment, and then ecstasy appeared on his face. He changed his previous calmness, and immediately laughed out loud. Ha 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 ha, they succeeded, they really succeeded. Kaiwa Tsujimu died tragically. The grievances of the millennium finally ushered in the end in our generation. It's great. A lot of tears fell from the eyes of Yuya Yubayashiki. He was happy for the final victory, but he was also sad for those children and humans who were killed by ghosts. But in any case, at least their blood was not shed in vain. Tianyin, tell Yin to make preparations quickly, set off to Nation Spider Mountain, and do everything possible to rescue the wounded. There must be no other children dying. Yes. Yubayashiki Amina nodded, calmly left, and gave instructions. The only person left in the room was Yoya Yashiki, who touched his eye sockets. The curse that was burning his body all the time had disappeared at this moment, and he missed the comfort he hadn't had for a long time. Mr. Li Yiming, you are indeed a messenger sent by God. The refreshing breeze blows past, blowing Yoya Yubayashiki's hair flying wildly. No one can answer his question, but he already has the answer in his heart. The battle ended faster than expected, so that the ghost-killing squad didn't suffer too much loss. After a brief celebration, they regained their sanity and began to rescue other wounded. Because of the existence of Zushi and Butterfly Ninja, coupled with the healing potion possessed by Li Yiming, many people's lives were greatly saved. To minimize the loss. Of course, some ghost hunters who were too late to be rescued could only bring their corpses back. It is indeed very happy to kill Oni Wutsuji Wumi, but the death of friends and partners makes people a little unhappy, and the price paid is too great. But anyway, the result is good. A group of people returned to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer squad with different thoughts, and Yoya Yabayashiki, who had already been prepared for the reception, came to the door in person to welcome the return of all the heroes. Mr. Yabayashiki, fortunately, I did not disgrace my life. Ah, the curse on my body has disappeared, thank you very much, Mr. Li Yiming, thanks to your help, we were able to eradicate the scourge of Animatsuji. On behalf of the demon killing team, the Miyashiki clan and all members of the priest clan, thanks for your help. As soon as the words fell, Yoya Miyashiki fell to his knees on the ground with the support of a Miyashiki Amane. Seeing this scene, all the members of the ghost killing squad also unequivocally followed their respected lord and knelt down towards Li Yiming to express their highest gratitude. In this regard, Li Yiming did not refuse, but silently chose to bear it. I don't need to say more to thank you, in fact, it is also my purpose to kill Ghost Mitsuji, so you don't need to be so exaggerated, it makes me feel a little embarrassed. But Mr. Yabayashiki, what are your plans for the future? Diverting the topic, Li Yiming asked vaguely. Everyone stood up one after another, and most of them started to get busy, leaving only the pillars of the ghost killing team and a few talented swordsmen gathered here. Hearing Li Yiming's words, Yoya Yabayashiki gave the answer without any thought. The children of the ghost killing squad have worked for too long, and they are fighting with their lives to fight ghosts, so after all the children recover from their injuries, I plan to disband the ghost killing squad, an organization dedicated to hunting evil spirits. It's no longer needed now. Maybe, I will arrange suitable jobs for every child, so that they can reintegrate into society and lead a more stable and ordinary life. The words of Yoya Yabayashiki fell into everyone's ears, and no one objected. In fact, if it weren't for the evil spirits killing their family members, they probably wouldn't have gathered together. In comparison, a stable life is happiness. Even if the former family members are no longer there, those who survived need to continue walking. That kind of picture is really beautiful, but after having this kind of experience, it is not easy to reintegrate into an ordinary life, and although the curse in your body has been lifted, the damage left by the curse is not necessarily it can be cured. No matter how difficult it is, I will arrange everything for the surviving children. As for myself, the family curse has been successfully lifted, and it is not so important whether I can recover my body. The smile on Yoya Yabayashiki's face was like a spring breeze, and he shook his head lightly, not caring about his situation at all. Being able to survive and lift the curse is already the most perfect ending. However, Butterfly Chanahue, who had been in contact with Li Yiming for a long time, heard another content from his tone, her pupils constricted slightly, and a slight surprise appeared on her face. Yiming, do you have a way to cure the Lord's illness? Hearing the question, almost everyone raised their heads instantly, and focused their gazes on Li Yiming. Well done, Connie, as expected of a caring girl like a little padded jacket, heard the deep meaning in his words, it was a great help. I don't have that ability, but I can give that possibility. Actually, I came from another world. In my world, there are a group of real gods, and they also possess all kinds of mysterious magic and abilities. The healing potion I took out before is one of the special products. 1. I think there should be someone who can heal your body, Mr. Yabayashiki. The same is true for you, Mr. Zayaman. Li Yiming looked at Tanjiro Zayaman beside him. Your body has lost its vitality because it couldn't bear the strength of the natural stripes, although I don't know if it can make up for it. It is a potion, but it is still possible to strengthen your physical fitness and withstand the power of the stripes. If you want, I can take you there together, of course I don't force you. These words have been lingering in Li Yiming's heart for a long time. He's even had a belly draft dedicated to it. After all, the pillars of the ghost killing team are all excellent talents, and it would definitely be a great thing if they can be absorbed into the He Faith family. Although there are not many people who can forge, but in the future at least it can increase the backbone combat effectiveness of the family. Since it is possible to achieve it, Li Yiming naturally wants to try it.